Good evening, families. I am sorry I didn't get a chance to get my vlog in a little bit earlier this week. Been a little bit crazy getting ready for conferences and just finished. I just got home from graduate school from a class this evening that I just finished up. Um, so I'm sure you are equally as busy. But I am absolutely glad that I get to see everyone starting tomorrow for conferences, which is why I want to just take a second and do a quick roundup. So this week we did a little bit of review, but kind of also worked and pushed on for a few things. So in reading, we just kind of came back full circle and talked about all the different strategies we've been working on and got a little bit of practice with some Curious George this week. Just looking for some different books to get kids engaged. And that brings me to my first point about reading. Reading has been really tricky. And right now I feel that we've been working with the website, the app Epic, and that seems to be working actually quite well for many, many students. I've been using that, and then some digital books that I've been able to access from my end to kind of get different students' needs a little bit of practice to really start honing in on different skills like sounding out and figuring out what books are about, picture walking, predicting, and understanding comprehension, what was going on, who was involved, those kinds of things. So please keep up with having students read. I know this is definitely tricky with things being virtual, but I appreciate each and every one of you for all that you are doing, whether that is going to the library, encouraging Epic, reading with yourselves at home. Please, 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 just keep it up. I am so proud and grateful for everything that you're doing. In math, we have continued working on what's called the commutative property, where when you write a number sentence or an expression, you can write the numbers when you add in either direction. 1 plus 2 is the same as 2 plus 1. And just kind of showing that in picture and in number sentence form, looking for things that are equal, ways to compare different number expressions and number sentences. And that's been going really well. The students have really, really taken to this, and I'm very pleased on how well they're doing in math. Writing, we're continuing adding more detail, whether that's in picture or in writing. I'm really trying to figure out how to just kind of keep pushing our envelope for writing in the virtual space. It's definitely a challenge. But I will say that we're doing better than I had expected, considering we don't actually get to share kind of with a buddy right next to us or sitting together on the carpet if we were in a classroom. So I'm really quite pleased with how that's going as well. I'm trying to get my feet wet and think about what we're going to start doing for science, because I love science and it's an important part of instruction and learning, and it's also super fun. That said, that brings us to kind of what's coming up. So tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, we have conferences. So at this time, I believe almost everyone is signed up with the time. If something isn't working or something changes, because I do know that things happen, please just reach out. Let me know. Send me an email, and I'll find a time. We'll figure it out. It's just important that we get an opportunity that I get to sit down, virtually, of course, but we can talk about what's going well for your student. That's super important. What do you notice? What do I notice from my end? Because we look for different lenses, and as you are the parents and family members and you are the experts, it's super important that I hear from you what you're noticing, and just kind of so we work together and keep moving forward. That's very important to me. So we've been working with like small group time and reading. I'm trying to figure out if math is something that needs to happen in that capacity as well. Right now it really doesn't seem like it, but I'm open to the possibility. I'm just trying to figure out where all that time fits in and what are all students doing. If some students are engaged with me while others would not be, that's kind of a tricky maneuver to make sure that everyone's got enough material that's engaging for them to work on, but that doesn't bury me on sifting through lots of work because I don't want to make busy work. I don't feel that busy work is appropriate, and I don't feel that homework is something that we need to do. There's just not a lot of research that says homework really does anything other than keep students busy. I'd rather have work be purposeful and meaningful. Looking at that. Otherwise, for conferences, I am just excited to see you and talk to you. Just kind of figure out how students are liking school, what they like about the class. Are there any questions or things that they feel that they're doing really well at? What they feel like they need more help with or are a little confused? Because that helps me, because not everyone says, I need some help. And not everyone's kind of popping in for office hours, which brings me to my last point, office hours. If you need anything, if you want your student to just sit with me and do the work, pop them into office hours. I would rather sit with a student so that there's a warm person across the screen that they can ask a question to, even if that means I'm just sitting there. It's okay. Otherwise, what I'm doing is I'm going through and listening to all their work and their stories and their reading on Seesaw, and just trying to keep on top of those things, and then make sure that I have activities and things planned each and every day. But I would much rather sit with kids. Same thing for all of you parents and families. If you have a question, please don't feel like you have to just email me. Please just pop into my office hours or send me an email and say, hey, do you have a free moment now or sometime today to chat, whether this is about your student, about homework, or just touching base. Think of it no different than I would probably be talking with you if we were lined up outside of the school before the start of the day, or if you were popping into the school for pickup at the end of the day. I'd probably talk with you and we'd talk about how things are going. So please, please, please feel free to reach out. The worst I'll ever say is I don't have time or I'm in the middle of class right now. Is there a better time? Okay, so that's really important. I want to make sure that we have open lines of communication. So if you have questions or concerns or something comes up, that you feel like you can reach out and let me know. I would absolutely appreciate that. Otherwise, I'm excited to see you all. I hope you have a wonderful evening. And please stay safe. All right. Have a good night.